Stay tuned for more Take 30 news coming up on MSTV 98.
Coming up on Take 30 News, we'll fill you in on a controversial bill that Governor Bryant signed recently, the results of the men's and women's NCAA tournament, and we have some news about the upcoming Olympics. All this and more on Take 30 News. Stay tuned.
Keeping our state informed. Broadcasting from the home of the Bulldogs. Now, from the University Television Studios of Mississippi State University, this is Take 30 News.
Welcome to Take 30 News. I'm Adam Bowles.
And I'm Carmen Lofton. There is a new law on religious freedom in Mississippi. This is Take 30 News' top story.
A bill passed with a large margin in the Mississippi Senate and the House on Religious Freedom has been signed into law by Governor Phil Bryant last evening. The bill has caused a lot of stir with protests in different parts of the state, including one outside the governor's residence. The new law allows court clerks to refuse issuing marriage licenses to same-sex couples if it is against their religious beliefs. The bill also advocates for business owners to refuse service for the same reason. According to a Center for Public Policy poll published in the Clarion Ledger, 63% of Mississippians support the bill. Vermont and the state of New York has banned official travel expressing their dissent with the new law.
An officer in Jackson, Mississippi was hospitalized after she was dragged by a vehicle. The officer, whose name has not been released, was called to a local convenience store early Monday morning to respond to a complaint about two people asleep in a car. The officer opened the car door when the driver accelerated in reverse. She was dragged until the car crashed into a parked snack truck. The officer was taken to the University of Mississippi Medical Center, and the extent of her injuries are unknown at this time. The driver, 27-year-old Orient Taylor, and passenger Javorsky Blackman were arrested at the scene. Taylor is charged with aggravated assault on a police officer, among other charges, while Blackman is charged with public drunkenness.
A 16-year-old boy was found dead on Thursday afternoon on his grandparents' property in Van Cleve, Mississippi. Cliff Allen, a freshman at Van Cleve High School, after the boy was reported missing, police arrived with a K-9 unit and quickly found his body, only 200 yards from the residence where he had been staying for the last year while he had looked after his grandmother. His cousin Dexter Kelly, 19, from Meridian, was arrested and charged with his murder. Allen's body was sent to the state climate lab for autopsy, while Kelly is being held in Jackson County Jail while he waits a bond hearing.
A TV station in Pittsburgh fired a news anchor of 18 years for posting controversial remarks on the TV station's Facebook page. This past Wednesday, WTAE-TV in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania fired Wendy Bell for posting remarks after the deadly shooting that killed 5 adults and a baby in Wilkinsburg. In her post, she said, quote, "You needn't be a criminal profiler to draw a mental sketch of the killers who broke so many hearts 2 weeks ago Wednesday." She stated, "They are young black men, likely teens or in their early 20s. They have multiple siblings from multiple fathers, and their mothers work multiple jobs. These boys have been in the system before. They've grown up there. They know the police. They've been arrested," end quote. Many fired back on Facebook, saying Bell's post was deemed racist, which led to WTAE's decision to let her go.
A man in Los Angeles is accused of fatally shooting his son for being homosexual. Shahada Issa, 69, shot his son Amir outside their home, and his wife was found inside the home, stabbed to death. Shahada told his police he shot his son in self-defense after finding his wife dead and Amir armed with a knife. Shahada has threatened to kill his son before for being homosexual. There have been problems between the two, including Amir reportedly vandalizing the home. Shahada is being held without bail pending his April 11th arraignment. He faces life in prison if convicted.
2 Amtrak workers are dead and 30 people are injured after an Amtrak train derailed from the tracks south of Philadelphia when it struck a backhoe. Evidence shows that the workers were on the wrong line, making what some call a colossal mistake. This was not the only accident that occurred with Amtrak trains on Sunday. A train struck a driver in Somonauk, Illinois, killing the driver. A pedestrian was hit by an Amtrak train in East Pennsylvania around 7:30 p.m. There will be some delays between Philadelphia and Wilmington, Delaware, but the trains are scheduled to run regularly.
World leaders gathered for a nuclear security summit this past weekend, and it provided an alliance that was not expected. The United States, along with China, have stated that if the escalation in regards to North Korea, nuclear and missile testing will result in more sanctions against the isolated country. Following 4 nuclear tests and multiple missile launches, the United States and China are making strides to denuclearize the Korean Peninsula. President Obama remarked on a historic agreement, quote, of great importance to both of us if North Korea's pursuit of nuclear weapons, which threatens the security and stability of the region, end quote.
Coming up after the break, Parker King will reveal the results of the men's and women's NCAA tournaments.
And Mississippi State's baseball team wins the weekend series against Ole Miss. Stay tuned.
Based on recent survey, Mississippi is ranked 3rd as worst state when it comes to littering. It is up to you to make a difference.
Seriously, the trash can's right there. How do you miss that anyway?
Do what's right and help prevent littering. Keep Mississippi clean and pick it up.
1, 2, 3, cigarettes, 4, 5, 6, packs, 10, 15, 20 milligrams of nicotine per day. Yellow, teeth, bad breath, disease, cancer, repeat until BAM.
You're watching Take 30 News on MSTV 98. Stay tuned for sports coming up next.
So Parker, how did your March Madness bracket turn out?
I really don't want to talk about it.
Wait, what happened?
I picked Virginia to win, and they get beat by 10-seeded Syracuse. I mean, it was a historic upset, but it was, still depressing for me. So,
well, to ease your pain, how about you tell us about another sports story?
Okay, how about baseball?
That sounds great.
All right then. After winning 2 games in the Ole Miss Weekend Series, the Diamond Dogs increased their overall home record against the Rebels to 120-78, with only 1 tie.
Behind a great game from junior right-hander Dakota Hudson, number 12 Mississippi State opened their weekend SEC series against in-state rival number 11 Ole Miss. The Bulldogs defeated the Rebels with a 3-1 victory. Hudson, who is 4-1 on the season, recorded his 3rd straight quality start and his 5th overall. He threw a total of 113 pitches, allowing only 4 hits and no walks during the game. Hudson completed his first complete game, and it was the team's 2nd this season. Dakota Hudson is now on a streak of 30.2 innings without giving up an earned run.
Dakota, I don't even know what to say. Just he goes in every Friday night, just shows us that he is a Friday night ace. I mean, what he's done this year is insane. I know he's gonna keep it up, but he works hard.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs finished with 6 hits in the game, while Reed Humphreys had his 3rd 3-hit game of the season, and Jake Mangum had his 4th multiple hit game. Also in the 8th inning, Jacob Robson reached on a pitching error and then scored from first base on a failed pickoff throw.
Of my starts, I've had a few scored in the first inning, so I mean, just being able to go out there and I guess just keep competing. I mean, that's really all you can do after a good team puts up a run like that. And then our team responded early on though, so I knew I had to work from there.
With the win, MSU improved to 19-7-1 overall and 5-2 in conference play. The Bulldogs won a conference series opener for a 3rd straight weekend and moved into first place in the Western Division standings, while Ole Miss fell to 20-6 and 2-5 in league play and dropped their 4th straight game.
Despite being slated to play a doubleheader Tuesday, the Bulldogs only played 1 game against the Skyhawks. The lights shined bright yesterday after an afternoon on Dudy Noble Field in Starkville as the Mississippi State Bulldogs were full of anticipation to take on the UT Martin Skyhawks. The Bulldogs showed up to play as a complete package, both on defense and offense, with 8 strikeouts and 18 hits. The bullpen stayed warm as MSU rotated between 8 different pitchers. The Bulldogs ended the game with a total of 76 strikes thrown out of 125 total pitches. Mississippi State's strong grip on the diamond held the Skyhawks to a no-scoring game, allowing them to take a 14-0 victory. The MSU softball team fell short of a series win against rival Ole Miss. The Bulldogs dropped the first game to Ole Miss 4-3. Sunday's second game of the series was much more exciting as it remained 0-0 for the entire game until junior Amanda Ivy hit a single, allowing senior Kayla Wingfield to score the winning run. During the rubber game, the Bulldogs struggled with the pitching and lost the game 9-5. The Bulldogs set to take on South Alabama at home tonight at 6 p.m. The Mississippi State women's tennis team upset number 23 Kentucky over the weekend. The team started off slow in singles play, giving Kentucky control early on. The Wildcats had a 4-1 start early on and led the court. But then the Bulldogs began their comeback. Anastasia Rentui battled to win 2 straight sets, 6-2, making the overall score 2-1. Jennifer Brown followed Rentui's lead and claimed her own straight set win. After Brown's victory, the score was tied at 2-2. It was then Georgiana Petrash that sealed the deal for the Bulldogs. Head coach Daryl Grennan said, quote, "Kentucky's an SEC team and one of the better ones. I'm proud of Georgiana and how she was able to fight back after losing her first set 6-1. She's playing like a senior, giving it her whole heart every match," end quote. The final match of the year is this Friday. The Bulldogs will take on rival Ole Miss for Senior Day. With the beginning of April comes the end of March, and with that comes the end of March Madness. And the championship game between the North Carolina Tar Heels and the Villanova Wildcats is being called one of the greatest endings in tournament history. The Wildcats were breaking records left and right during their championship run, stunning the nation as they powered past second-seeded Oklahoma 95-51, the largest margin of victory in tournament history. UNC, on the other hand, had won every game up until that point by at least 14 points. And we're looking to do the same with Villanova. In an exciting back-and-forth game between the two powerhouses, Villanova took away the victory with a buzzer-beater shot, making the score 77-74, giving them their first championship title in 31 years. The Connecticut women's Huskies basketball team completed their historic run to a 4th consecutive national championship by beating the Syracuse Orange 82-51 last night at Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. Brianna Stewart, Morgan Tuck, and Mariah Jefferson became the only players in NCAA college basketball history, men or women, to win 4 national titles. This senior trio finished their collegiate careers with a title of 151-5, going 116-1 in the past 3 seasons. UConn finished the season at 38-0, which is the 6th unbeaten season in program history. Brianna Stewart won her 4th Final Four Most Outstanding Player award, finishing the game with 24 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 blocks. This championship marked the 11th overall title for the Huskies coach Gino Auriemma. Recently retired American soccer star Abby Wambach was arrested for a DUI in Portland, Oregon. Wambach, of 35, was pulled over for failing to stop at a red light and was then arrested around 2 o'clock in the morning after failing a field sobriety test. She was released on her own recognizance and was described as polite and cooperative with police. In her 14-year career, Wambach accumulated 2 Olympic gold medals, 1 World Cup, a FIFA World Player of the Year award, and 6 U.S. Athlete of the Year crowns. She has since apologized for the incident with a post on her Facebook page. That's all for sports. Coming up, Take 30 News' Shelby Anderton sits down with Jessica Swindle, Miss All-America City, and current MSU students studying severe weather preparedness. Stay tuned.
3 cigarettes, 4, 5, 6 packs, 10, 15, 20 milligrams of nicotine per day. Yellow teeth, bad breath, disease, cancer. Repeat until bam.
Imagine not having a home, or a clean place to sleep, or someone to rely on. For a homeless cat or dog, that is reality. 6 to 8 million cats and dogs do not have any of this, and 2.7 million of them never will because they will be euthanized before they find a home. Adopt an animal from a shelter and help give them the life they might have never had.
Welcome back to Take 30 News. I'm Shelby Anderton. Today I'm here with Miss All-America City, Jessica Swindle. Thanks for joining us, Jessica.
Thank you for having me.
That's awesome. Can you just tell us a little bit about your journey to becoming Miss America City?
Well, first of all, the Miss All-America City title is part of the Miss Mississippi organization, which is a part of the Miss America organization, which is a great scholarship program, gives a lot of scholarships to women all across the country, and I'm a part of this being Miss All-America City in my journey to becoming Miss All-America City. Well, first of all, the pageant entitles an interview, a talent, onstage question. Am I missing anything? Swimsuit. I was the swimsuit winner, and of course, evening gowns. I had to compete in all of those components of the pageant, and I won this title. So that's sending me off to compete in Miss Mississippi this June.
That's a great accomplishment. How long does it take to prepare for one of these pageants?
For the preliminary or for the Miss Mississippi pageant?
Both, just everything that goes into it. You have a talent, swimsuit, I'm sure there's lots of preparation.
Well, for preliminaries, they differ. The preliminary before that, I prepared for like 3 months, and then I decided to do Miss All-America City last minute, prepared for about 3 weeks. Didn't know what to expect, and I won. So you never really know what to expect out of these pageants. But for the state pageant, the big one, I started preparing really like weeks after I won. Still preparing, still working out, eating right, getting my talent together, getting my wardrobe together. So it's an ongoing process.
How long have you been doing pageants?
Oh, since I was 5 years old.
Wow, so I'm sure you have a real passion for this.
I do, and one thing I really like is through the Miss America organization, I'm able to implement my platform, which is my passion, severe weather preparedness. I'm a meteorology student here at Mississippi State. I love weather, especially storms, but I definitely know the devastating effect that they can have on people, homes, and communities. So I just want to spread that message, and I'm able to do that through the different pageant titles that I have.
What made you choose this platform? I haven't heard of many other pageant girls doing that platform before.
It is, like I mentioned, my passion. I love weather. It's something that I study, something that through studying it, I realize that not a lot of people know, or that, you know, our local meteorologists may be too busy to really put that message out there. So I want to be that person, that instrument to relay that message of what to do. And my 3 main points are to have a plan of action to take when severe weather is coming, have a kit. Every family and household should have an emergency supply kit and be informed. Know the difference between things like a watch and a warning and different warning signs of approaching severe weather. And I just actually talked to a school yesterday, an elementary school, a bunch of 3rd graders, like 5 different classes. They're very smart, but some people know it, some people don't, so I'm just trying to spread the message to everyone to reiterate this message of severe weather preparedness.
Talk to us a little bit about just what goes into being Miss All-America City. What all do you have to do day by day?
Day by day, really eat well. Eating well is something that you have to do, especially preparing for the swimsuit portion of the pageant, and to just really keep up a good image, and it makes you feel good. It gives you the energy to take on this job. And I've had to do some really cool stuff. I've done photo shoots, other interviews, and it's just a lot of fun.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Stay tuned. After the break, we'll fill you in on Mississippi State's International Fiesta.
Don't you watch MSU's Campus Connect forecast?
No. What is that?
Campus Connect is your latest weather forecast for the Starkville area, presented as a public service by the students of the Mississippi State Broadcast Meteorology Program. Log on to our blog at campusconnectforecast.blogspot.com. Don't get caught in the rain. Plan ahead with Campus Connect.
I'm going to tell all my friends about this so they can plan their day too.
I just can't concentrate in class. I'm always tired and can't remember anything going on anymore.
I don't want to hang with my friends. I don't have any energy anymore. My head always hurts.
Don't let this fake smile fool you, or else you will never see my real smile.
Pick it up, Mississippi.
Welcome back to Take 30 News. With only 4 months until the 2016 Olympic Games and only half of the tickets sold, Brazil's Minister of Sports is scrambling to boost ticket sales. It is possible that the Brazilian government will purchase tickets for the public schools to distribute to their students. Another main concern for the Games is gaining confidence worldwide. Many countries are concerned about Rio's ability to host the Olympics and ensure the safety of the athletes, fans, and political leaders.
MSU's drill field was recently filled with bright colors and a variety of smells during an annual event that always attracts a diverse crowd. The package Saturday, Mississippi State University held its 26th annual International Fiesta. The event, which held on the drill field and hosted a wide variety of cultures from across the globe, helps expose students to said cultures so they may learn and appreciate the customs that some foreign students still practice. The MC for the Fiesta, Amruda Jadhab, explains why this event is so important and the overall goal of the event.
The goal of this event is gathering all the internationals and the Starkville community and the MSU students, where they get to get an exposure about the different cultures of the world, and you know, that's a very good way of knowing, of learning without having the need to travel.
The Fiesta also had different booths set up to display art, food, and many other commodities from different types of cultures. One vendor at these booths was Kelly Mazzella. At the German booth, went on to describe what culture means to her.
Culture is dynamic, it's never static, and furthermore, culture is living. Even in the United States, even in different countries, that cultural identity is still there. I mean, it's what you identify with, it's what you personify, and that's what's the most important thing, is living your culture and letting other people experience your culture in the best way that you can.
So not only had different performers, each from a different culture, but also provided unique cuisines that filled the air with delicious smells. The Fiesta also had entertainment for the younger audience, as well as pianos and inflatables for the children to play on. Rebecca Stewart reflected on the event.
I like the food that's here and the toys that they're giving out right now. I think today's like a beautiful day to have this right now.
MSU's campus has portions that have been under construction for quite some time. Expansion of the Mitchell Memorial Library began in the summer of 2015. The new addition will add a 5th floor to the northeast corner that will house the Congressional and Political Research Center, offices, study rooms, the Ulysses S. Grant Presidential Library, and more. This expansion has caused closures of one of the busiest roads on campus, forcing traffic to take a detour during this 18-month project. The 21,000 square foot, $71.2 million expansion project is expected to be finished in the spring of 2017.
The Office of Fraternity Life teamed up with the Student Association and the Holmes Cultural Diversity Center to bring anti-racist speaker Tim Wise to Lee Hall.
Basically running up fines. I'm not the only one, I feel confident.
Students and faculty alike filled Bedford Auditorium to hear Tim Wise speak on the topic of colorblindness. Wise is a 7-time author who has lectured in over 50 states and over 1,000 college and high school campuses. He's known for his blunt approach to race-related issues. Though some students walked out during the lecture, others stayed to ask questions, even purchased a book entitled Under the Affluence, shaming the poor, praising the rich, and sacrificing the future of America.
I actually read his books out.
The Tulane. In Surrey, England, during a celebratory Easter egg hunt, suspected robbers ran through the field past the children participating in the hunt. With a police helicopter above, the quick-thinking children formed a human arrow to point out which way the fugitives ran. The police helicopter was then able to spot the men thanks to the help from children ages 6 to 12 years old. Both men were arrested.
This past Sunday, a man in North Carolina was overjoyed to find out that he became the grandfather of a boy and a girl who are born on the same minute. And they are not twins. Sons Matthew and Steve Thayer, who are separated by several counties, both checked in with wives into the hospital to have both their children born on the same minute at 6:53 p.m. Baby Cassidy and Benjamin are both healthy and at home with their families. Matthew and Steve's cousins jokingly commented on this rare coincidence, saying this could be in the news. And for more news, you can stay tuned to Take 30 News coming up late next week.